Hello, this is Dr. Tiffany Tyson, aka Dr. Hope, and welcome to another episode of Reclaiming My Life podcast. If you're dealing with some challenges in life or you need some inspiration and motivation, you've come to the right station. So, tonight we're going to be talking about, do you remember the time? No, this is not just a Michael Jackson song, but do you remember the time when things were hot and heavy in your relationship, but now they've gone lukewarm or cold? Well, let's talk about that. So we can be so busy in our day-to-day lives with work and taking care of the kids, or if we have aging parents, that we sometimes don't see that our mates are changing. And what you liked at your 20s may be different from what you like at your 30s, your goals, your hobbies. And so it's important to sit down and to have those conversations, even if it's just the simple things, talking about what are their favorite desserts now, or what movies do they like to watch, or what are even their hobbies. Sometimes we can get so busy that we fail to see that things have changed. I remember having someone to come in and they were saying, I feel like my mate and I are at a different level right now. And they were remembering when they were in their 20s, they were focused on raising the kids. And then now they're in their 40s. And it's like, okay, what's changed? Well, the kids are out of the house. We have new perspectives. And so it's important as you're going about your day to day, making time for date night, or also making time to sit down and say, okay, what are our goals now in our marriage, or what are our goals now in our finances, or now that the kids are out of the house, what is it that we want to do? Do we want to plan for a retirement home or vacation home, or do we want to travel? So those things are really important too in your relationships, to keep it going, to keep communication going. So I want to bring in my co-host and let's see what their thoughts are in their sessions. Miss Claudia Massey in life coaching. Do you sometimes have couples that come in and they say, oh, we just feel like we're two ships passing in the night now, not sure what their interests are? So what do you tell those individuals?
Wow, yes, absolutely. I hear often is, like you said, I see him, I see them, we come home and, we eat, and sometimes we're not even eating together. We go to bed, we go to sleep, and sometimes, I'm going to bed and he's staying up or vice versa. And, we're not even going to bed together. So you start to feel so distant, like, am I really in a relationship? What's going on? Like, I don't even know what's
Exactly.
going on in my spouse's life anymore.
Right.
So of course, I always suggest, well, first of all, of course, we work. So, what time are you getting off work? You need to start communicating. When we get home, let's have dinner together. Let's have our dinner. Let's sit down for an hour. Make time the same way you have on your calendar. I'm going to get my nails done, or I'm
Yeah.
going to get my hair cut. Let's say, hey, from 6 to 7, baby, let's sit down and talk. I just want to hear about your day. Let's talk about what we're going to do next week. So that's when you're
Yeah.
planning. Let's talk about our bills. Let's talk about, what we're saving. But we need to have a conversation daily. Send those sweet messages during the day.
Yeah.
Just a little text message to say, hey, baby, I missed you this morning. I love you. Just to make, your spouse smile, or your mate, whatever the case may be. Make time for each other during the week. Because sometimes I hear, what, it's been 2 weeks or it's been a month. I don't know the last time we were intimate. So be intentional about, being intimate with your partner. Because sometimes, like you said, we're on our day to day, and it's not intentional that the time is getting away from us and we're starting to lose ourselves, in a relationship. It's definitely unintentional, but sometimes, it clicks. It have to click and say, wait a minute, when the last time we went out, like you said?
Exactly.
So hey, put that date on the calendar. Baby, we're going out Saturday night.
Yeah.
Or babe, let's plan this trip for March, and then let's plan this for August, or whatever the case may be. So it's important to just sit down daily, sit down and communicate with your spouse. Make time, be intentional. So,
Yeah.
those are some of the things that I suggest, to my clients when I'm coaching is, be intentional, like I said, just the little sweet things, even if it's small, because it makes a difference. Because sometimes one thing I always say to my husband, we say to one, what did you do for me today? You know, we're not going to bed and you didn't do anything for me today, and vice versa, and it might be, oh, I gave you a foot massage, and it might be, oh, I cooked you dinner, or oh, I kissed you, or I ran your bath water.
I love
Be
that. I love
intentional
that.
about this,
Yes.
competition of, oh, hey, yeah, I'm loving up on you. I did this for you
Yes.
today. So hey, that's another thing you can do before you go to sleep. Wait a minute. What I do for you today? So you can have something to smile about. Oh, yes, you did, baby. And you held
Yeah.
me tight. You go to bed feeling good about, hey, I took care of my man today.
All
Even
right
if it
now.
was small.
I love
Mhm.
that.
Yes.
Be intentional. If you've been listening, be intentional.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes, yes.
Minister Cooper, so what does the Bible say about making time for your significant other and as you said, loving up on your spouse?
Yes, well, first and foremost, we need to understand that it is our duty to reconcile or reconnect with our spouse. 2 Corinthians 5 and 18 tells us that we are called to a reconciled ministry in our lives. And as Christians, we do not have the option to let broken relationships lie and fester. We must work to repair them. It takes um, time and effort to repair something, to reconnect with the other. There are different ways, God can heal your marriage. You need to pray. The best way to fight any battle is on your knees. And once you do that, be still and let God fight that battle. Trust,
Yes.
face the battle, let God do the talking, and then give thanks. Thank God for allowing you to be able to sit down and reconcile with your spouse. You know,
Yeah.
um, like Claudia was saying, it's the little things that count. Build healthy boundaries. Listen with intention to learn something from the other one. Don't always put yourself first. You always have to make time for that person and just listen.
I love that because sometimes we can get
Yes.
so caught up in our day that
Hmm.
we do put ourselves first or we don't think about that other person. But when you're in
Right.
a relationship or a marriage, sometimes you
Right.
got to take self out of the picture and like you said, focus on
Hmm.
that person. And you said something really key. Two things: gratitude, being grateful for that mate that you have in your life, that God
Hmm.
has sent you in your life. That's
Right.
that's
Yes.
that's important. And then prayer. Well, they always say a family that prays together stays together.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes,
Hmm.
yes.
Definitely.
So, ladies, any closing thoughts, Miss Claudia?
Yes, I love what Tramika said as well when she talked about boundaries. When we think about boundaries, because sometimes, when we're losing ourselves, a lot of times I hear, my clients are saying, well, he or she have female or male friends. When we're too busy for our spouses, they may have a friend,
Mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm,
it's innocent,
mm-hmm.
it can be, but I'm saying right now, innocent. That they're just saying, "Hey, how you doing, or what are you doing today?" Because we're so busy, whatever's going on in their life, they're sharing it with the friend because we don't have time. We're not making time. So if something big or small happened in their life, and oh, let me tell you this,
Yeah,
that was supposed to come to me. I
exactly.
I
Yeah.
missed it. So make time, because sometimes, with those friends, they start getting closer and closer
Mm-hmm,
because you
mm-hmm.
don't have the time. So,
Right.
when Tramika mentioned boundaries, we do need to make sure that there are healthy boundaries when it comes to friendships in our marriages as well.
Yes, that is really key because, like you said, when you start sharing certain secrets, then it can sometimes spill over into something else. So you want to make sure
Right.
that you show up and be there for your mate, during those times where they're celebrating something at work, or just
Hmm.
like you said, even the little things, because sometimes when
Right.
they start to share that information with others, it's almost like it is like a cheating thing, because they're sharing,
Mm-hmm.
intimate personal details
Mm-hmm.
about their day or their lives, and they're not sharing it with their mate. So that can be seen as, oh, okay, you're being unfaithful to me.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
Dr. Tyson, we've talked in the past about those emotional affairs. You
Yeah.
know, as time progressed, now, hey, wife is in the bed, she sleeps, she tired. Let me talk to my friend.
Exactly.
And it's late at night, and it's spilling over into. So what are you wearing tonight? Sometimes
Exactly.
it progressed to that point. So yes, we definitely have to be intentional about making sure we're taking care of one another.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Minister Cooper, any last thoughts?
My only last thoughts is the more you love on your spouse, the less you have to worry about all the above. You have to love
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
I love it.
So communication is definitely the key. So when you communicate with your spouse or significant other, they don't have time or room to go and have those side communications with other people. And as you said, boundaries are not broken. And so even though we're busy, as you said, Claudia, earlier, even the littlest things where you send them a
Mhm.
text message, hey, thinking about you today, babe, or hey, can't wait till you get home, or hey, let's, do such and such. But as you said, being
Mhm.
intentional, we have to show up and be intentional about not only our communication with our mates, but just, being there for them and just showing up.
Mhm.
So if you've been listening today, thank you for tuning in. I'm Dr. Tiffany Tyson with Reclaiming My Life podcast. And always remember, there is hope. Hang on to positive expectations and pray every day.